not just because it's a beautiful campus, and it is a beautiful campus, but it's uplifting because of the kind of thinking and speaking that you hear from Drake and everybody else here. It's the kind of thinking. You know, the first time I was here was on Constitution Day, and I listened to a debate. And what you heard was the students thinking, not just having opinions and judgments about what everybody else was saying, not having opinions and judgments about what's going on in the world, but doing the kind of thinking it takes to have something really new become possible. Doing the kind of thinking it takes to make something really new be possible for human beings. That's what goes on here. That's why it's uplifting always to be here, and today again. So Drake, thanks. You know, what do we got? 10 days now, right? 10 days till we vote, and we all get to go vote. And I know some of us in the room have been voting for several years, and so we go, well, of course we go vote. But it's not, of course, is it? It is a right and a privilege that, again, we need to take a moment and pause and let ourselves be grateful for one more time. That opportunity we have to vote, that not everybody in the world does, but we do. And when we vote, we are acknowledging that we care about this world. We care about our country, we care about our commonwealth, we care about our neighbors and the people we live with. We're acknowledging we care, and we've got something to say. We got something we want said. And, you know, if you're not a candidate, you're not going to be in Harrisburg yourself, you're not going to be in Washington, but you've got something you want said, so you're voting for somebody that's going to go say what you want said. And there's stuff that needs to be said now, isn't there? You know, it needs to be said that nobody should dare presume they have a right to judge, criticize, or restrict a woman's choice. Nobody should say they think they have that right. That's got to be said, doesn't it? It's got to be said. It needs to be said now that, yeah, we can bring costs down. We've got to bring costs down so families can afford to live and businesses can afford to survive. We can do that. We've got to do that, but that's got to be said. Bring those costs down. And it's got to be said. Invest in education. Find every penny we can find to put into the schools and put into the universities like this one. Find every penny we can find so the students of today can tell we're investing in them. They get it. They get, hey, yeah, we're important for the future and we're being invested in. It's important, and that needs to be said, that every penny gets found for education. And it needs to get said that this environment's in danger, and whatever can be done to protect this environment, to be responsible in doing the work we need to do so we save this planet, that all needs to get said. So when you vote, you're saying what you're voting for is for somebody to go say that on your behalf. And when you go to bed on election night, you go to bed with the pride and the confidence of going, okay, I did it. I voted so that what I want said is going to get said there. It's going to get heard. And that's the point of voting, and that's what you accomplish with your vote. So here we go. In 10 days, we all get that privilege. I now want to introduce to you Dan Williams, which is, you know, Dan, I've had the opportunity to meet Dan several times just in the recent past, and a couple things. You know, Dan is the representative from the 74th District. He's done an extraordinary job. He's brought millions of dollars, I think $20 million of state resources to the area. He's authored, co-authored, supported hundreds of bills that are just important legislation for the area. On behalf of the constituents, he's resolved, I think it's thousands, like 5,000 concerns of constituents. Just amazing what he's accomplished. You know, I think you probably all know, but you may not, Dan's also been a pastor for 30 years. I think he brings that extraordinary, wonderful mix of being a pastor to, you know, that devotion and commitment to humankind as a pastor, bring that to being a state rep, and it's the best combination you can have. And all I know is in the several times I've met Dan recently, every time I meet him, I leave thinking better about myself. How come? Because he greets you with such respect, and he, you know, really, you know, takes a stand that you're going to do well. So every time you meet Dan, you end up feeling better about yourself, which I think is a sign of a great man. So it's my privilege to have you hear from Dan Williams.